If you are burnt out from running your law firm, then you absolutely must watch this video. I did a private coaching session with a personal injury attorney who is just burnt out. I walked him through step by step how to basically get out of the day-to-day of running his law firm. We also dove into his intake. He was getting lots of leads, but he wasn't converting those leads into clients. And the reality is that all the leads in the world are useless if you're not converting them into clients. If you're feeling burnt out, if you want more free time, if you're feeling stressed every single day, this video is for you. Check it out. Basically, my philosophy in my business is that I get paid to think and everyone else gets paid to do the work. Anything that I can do that either can be delegated out or that I don't specifically love doing, I give to somebody else. What you have to understand is that your time is a finite resource. What I did and what I recommend you do for the next 2 weeks, keep a log, everything that you do, how much time you do it. You need to go back and look at it and say, okay, what are the $10 an hour tasks, the $100 an hour tasks, the $1,000 an hour tasks, the $10,000 an hour tasks, right? This I can delegate, this I can delegate, this I shouldn't be doing, this I shouldn't be doing. And then you take all those things and then also the things that you just absolutely hate doing. And those are all the things that you're gonna hire somebody for. Well, imagine that you don't have to spend any time on your email. The first thing I'm going to tell you is you probably need to have an executive assistant to handle small things like that. The way that I have my executive assistant handle my email for me, all the junk mail, all the spam mail, that's pretty self-explanatory. We know how to get rid of that, right? When certain emails would come in, basically anything that she wasn't certain what to do about, she would tag as Andy Review. And now what I'm doing once a day is instead of dealing with 150, 200, 300 emails, I'm dealing with 4 or 5. What I do instead is I open up the email and I record Loom and I train my assistant on how to handle this email to the point where I really only deal with 1 or 2 emails a day now. And what's cool is that she doesn't use the tag anymore. What we use an app called Voxer. And the reason we use that is because I'm in Atlanta and she's in Brandon, Florida. So we're not in the same office. So Voxer, what it does, it allows you to send voice messages. I'll just hit Voxer. I'll be like, oh yeah, tell him I'm going to call him back next week and put it on my calendar for Tuesday. And boom, my emails are done. I just saved hours every single day just by having that competent person. And it's by putting the training in place. You know what I mean? I film a ton of videos and no one can get on camera and pretend to be me. Only I can be me. But I don't have to edit the video. I don't have to post the video. I don't have to write the social post for the video. I don't have to do retargeting for the video. I don't have to cut the video up into smaller pieces and post it in all these other places. I record the video and then I send it off and then somebody else does the work for me. So that would be my first thing that I would suggest to you is do that time study and start looking at what are the areas that I'm spending so much time that somebody else can do. So that right there is life-changing. Now, the second question I have is when you get leads, who handles your intake? Who answers the phone when somebody calls you?
One of my 2 legal assistants. New call comes in. If I'm here, they come get me. And then they email me and text me the exact same message, all 3 places. So I can call right back. And then we just schedule them to get them in.
Got it.
What you're fixing to say, I'm hoping is what I'll need to hear, because if you guys are going to do what I think y'all are going to do and get me a lot more leads, I'm going to need more help.
Yes.
or probably a better system.
Yeah. Yes. And yes. A lot of times people have the misconception that you launch an ad, you get a client. And if you launch the ad and you didn't get a client, it means that the ad didn't work. But that's actually not true, because there's actually 9 things that have to happen in between here and here to getting the client. And if any one of those things is broken, it can throw the entire thing off and make your ads completely unprofitable, right? I had a client one time that we got 50 leads, 40 were qualified, meaning they fit the criteria that we want, 7 booked consultations, 7 of them showed up for the consultations, and 2 of them signed up as clients, right? What the hell happened with those 33 that didn't book a consultation? That's why it's important that not only do you have systems in place, but you're also optimizing every step of the way to make sure that you're in the best position to maximize each one of those. Because let's say you close at 25%. If you can go from 25% to 50% closing, you'll double your revenue without spending any more money. And we see this with bigger firms, right? So what happens is the receptionist is handling intake, and then the paralegals who are supposed to be working on the case, they're now doing the receptionist job. Now the attorney has to go do the paralegal's job, and everybody's pissed off because nobody's doing their job. And in the end of the day, we have to avoid that at all costs, because simultaneously they're also not doing a good job on the intake because that's not their job. You know what I mean? All that to say, You can't do that in your current system. Your legal assistant is already overworked. So Ethan is our partner in attorney assistant. He's a personal injury attorney, runs a law firm out of Pennsylvania. He signed up about 4,000 cases, all from social media. He's done this without him getting on the phone with any of them. He has an entire virtual assistant system.
I'm going to test the VA right now.
Lead calls the firm. Virtual assistant answers the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Ethan Ostralfa, this is Clifford. How can we help?
And actually does the entire thing all the way through sending out the retainer agreement. Like, they don't even talk to the attorney.
When our attorneys reach out to you, you'll have this information ready. That way they'll be able to best determine if they will be able to represent your case in court.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
He's got a decent sized team now, because obviously, you know, if you're getting 4,000 cases, you're growing your law firm pretty aggressively. You don't need that. What you need is, you really need like 1 or 2 virtual assistants so that you can run ads 24 hours a day and have your phones answered 24 hours a day. What I don't want to see happen is, I don't want to see the leads are actually causing a bigger problem than they're solving, because of the fact that nobody in your firm is really equipped to handle the volume that's coming in. And because of that, you guys are losing leads, you're losing ROI, you're frustrated that the marketing campaign's not working because there's a problem with the intake. You know what I mean? So we use something called a cases I want score. And a cases I want score is basically when they leave a message that indicates they're a case that you want. So like they say like, yeah, I was rear-ended and I had to go to the hospital and have a surgery or something like that. Like, that's a case you want, right? We assign that like a 3. We then do follow-up, text, call, email, like for 15 days in a row until you get that lead on the phone. And that's what the virtual assistants will do. They like relentlessly follow up with the leads. On top of that, they're trained specifically on handling intake and all that good stuff. I like using some psychology, right? So I do this thing called pre-framing. You know, ring, ring, law firm. Hi, I was in a car accident. Sorry to hear that, but you made a great choice calling this firm, because attorney David, he's like one of the best car accident attorneys in the entire state. So you made a fantastic decision calling us. What's your name? Just that whole reassuring that they made the right decision, and also painting you in the light of you're an amazing attorney. It sounds stupid. I know it sounds really dumb, but it makes such a big difference. It can double your conversion rate just because of the fact that somebody's like reaffirming their decision. And then you have pieces of your business that are handled by other people who are actually better at handling those things than you are. I mean, if you do those 2 things, intake and the time study, then what ends up happening is you make more money and you have more free time to do whatever it is that you want to do, which is really cool. You're going to be surprised how much time that's going to free up. That might free up 30 hours a week for you.